You're in tune to the Paperflip Real Estate Podcast.
Are you lying awake at night worried about losing your home in this tough market? The threat of foreclosure is a total nightmare, but I want you to know you're not alone. And there are real concrete steps you can take right now to stay in your house. Let's look at the reality of the situation. Foreclosure filings in the first half of 2025 are up over 5% from last year, with 187,000 properties getting a notice. Now, that's a 5-year high, but for context, it's still below the levels we saw before the pandemic. This isn't just a statistic, it's a reality for thousands of families. But here is the most important thing to remember. You have options. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact practical steps you can take, from talking to your lender to using powerful government programs designed to help you. We're going to build a roadmap to get you from this place of fear and uncertainty to a place of empowerment and control. Let's be direct. The fear you are feeling is real. The word foreclosure is terrifying. It can feel like a public failure and carries the very real possibility of losing the roof over your head. It's the constant stress of checking the mail, dreading another official-looking envelope, of dodging phone calls from numbers you don't even recognize. And with today's economy, with interest rates all over the place and financial pressures building up, it's easy to feel like you're drowning. The temptation to just ignore the problem and hope it goes away is huge. But the single biggest mistake you can make is doing nothing. Now, every day that passes, your options, they can shrink up. The further behind you get, the harder it is for you to catch up, and the closer your lender gets to a foreclosure sale. This isn't to scare you, it's to give you a sense of urgency. Now, the system is designed to move forward whether you participate or not. But by stepping up and taking action, you grab the controls. You force the process to slow down, and you open up pathways that can lead you to keeping your home. Now, our goal here is to give you those controls. I'm going to break it all down and show you there is a clear, structured way to fight for your home. So let's go over the golden rule, which is to communicate immediately. The very first and most important step isn't some complicated legal maneuver. It's simple. Contact your mortgage servicer or your mortgage lender. That's the company you send your payments to every month. I can't stress this enough. Do that right now. Do it immediately. Don't wait for them to call you. Pick up the phone, go to their website, open up the app. And here's why this is so critical. Now, lenders would almost always rather find a solution with you than to foreclose. Foreclosure is an expensive, complicated, and time-consuming headache for them too. It's their last resort, and they actually have a vested interest in helping you find a way to start paying again. By reaching out early, you show them you are a responsible person who's hit a rough patch, not someone just walking away from their home. Plus, federal mortgage servicing rules gives you a built-in protection. In most cases, a lender can't even make their first official foreclosure filing until you're more than 120 days late on your payments. This 120-day period isn't a grace period to do nothing. It's your window of opportunity. It's the time to work with your servicer to find what they call a loss mitigation option. That's just the industry term for a solution that avoids foreclosure. When you contact them, be honest and have your information ready to go. Explain what's causing your financial hardship. Is it a job loss, a medical emergency, a divorce, or whatever it is? They'll send you a loss mitigation application, sometimes called a borrower assistance package. Your entire goal is to get this application, fill it out completely and accurately, and send it back as fast as you can. This is your formal request for help, and it's what legally requires them to see if you qualify for an alternative to foreclosure. Now let's discuss the most powerful tool in the process, which is a loan modification. Call them loan mods. And once you open that line of communication and sent in your application, now one of the most powerful solutions is a loan modification. Now let's be clear, this isn't a new loan. It's a permanent change to the terms of your existing mortgage to make your monthly payments more affordable again. This isn't a temporary band-aid. It's a long-term fix. So how does it work? Well, a servicer can modify your loan in a few ways. Now, they might lower your interest rate. They could also extend the life of your loan, say from 30 years to 40 years, which spreads out the balance and lowers your payment. Or they might use something called principal forbearance, where they take a chunk of your principal, set it aside, and you don't have to pay it back until you sell the house or pay off the loan. Often it's a combination of these things. They also roll your missed payments and any fees right into the new loan balance, bringing you completely current. Now, to get a loan modification, you have to show that you can afford your current payment long term, but could afford a new lower payment. This is why all the financial paperwork you send in is so important. They need to see your income, your expenses, and what caused the hardship in the first place. Timing is crucial. You should aim to submit your completed application at least 45 days before any scheduled foreclosure sale. Now, doing this gives you certain legal protections and makes sure the servicer has enough time to review your file. Loan modifications are incredibly effective and are a cornerstone to how homeowners get back on track. Now let's discuss here getting a temporary relief, which are forbearance agreements. Now, what if your financial problem is, let's say, it's just temporary? Maybe you lost your job, but you have a great new lead, or you have a short-term medical issue that's messing with your income. In this case, a forbearance agreement might be the perfect solution. Forbearance lets you pause or reduce your mortgage payments for a set period, usually 3 to 6 months, but sometimes longer. Now, it's really important to understand that forbearance is not forgiveness. You will still have to pay back the payments you skipped. Now, the key is figuring out what happens when the forbearance period ends. You and your servicer will agree on this up front. Usually you have a few options. One is a lump sum payment, but that's rare and tough for most people. Now, the more common options are a repayment plan, where the missed payments are spread out over several months and added to your regular payment, or a deferral, where the skip payments are moved to the end of the loan. And if it turns out your hardship isn't so temporary, you can often apply for a loan modification. Like everything else, you have to ask for a forbearance. While the CARES Act made it widely available during the pandemic, today's options depend more on your servicer and your loan type. While hard real-time data is limited, estimates suggest that even in early 2025, a significant number of homeowners are still using forbearance plans to get through a temporary crisis. Now let's discuss finding financial help like government and nonprofit programs. You're not in this alone. Beyond your lender, there are powerful resources out there waiting to help you out. And you should immediately look into government assistance and nonprofit housing counseling. First, let's talk about Homeowner Assistance Fund, or HAF. HAF. This was a federal fund from the American Rescue Plan that gave states nearly $10 billion to help homeowners with mortgage payments, taxes, insurance, and utilities. Now, the program has been a lifeline, helping over 549,000 homeowners across the country as of mid-2024. Here's the current situation on that. Now, as we get into mid-2025, Now, many states have programs, have run out of money, and aren't taking in new applications. But however, some states may still have funds, so you need to check the status of the HAP program in your specific state right away. Best place to look is your state's Housing Finance Agency website. You can do a Google for that. Now, this might be the most valuable tip I can give you. This right here. Find a HUD-approved housing counselor. HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, certifies nonprofit agencies all over the country to give free or very low-cost advice to homeowners. These counselors, they are experts. Their job is to be your advocate. They can help you get your financial documents in order, fill out that complicated loss mitigation application, and even talk to your lender for you. They know the local laws and programs inside out, and you can find a list of these agencies on the HUD website or by calling their hotline. Seriously, working with a certified counselor dramatically increases your chances of success and helps you avoid scams. So let's get into some scams. It's a critical warning about avoiding foreclosure scams. They are out there. When you're in a vulnerable spot, you become a prime target for scammers. Foreclosure rescue scams are everywhere. They're all over the place, preying on your fear and your desperation. And you'll probably get official looking mail, see ads online, or even have someone knock on your door promising that they can save your home for a fee. You have to know these red flags. First off, never pay anyone a big fee up front. It's illegal for a so-called foreclosure consultant to take your money before they actually done anything. A real HUD-approved counselor won't ask for a pile of cash. Second, be suspicious of anyone who guarantees they can stop your foreclosure. There are no guarantees on that. It can still happen. The final decision is always up to your lender. Third, never sign any documents you don't fully understand, and whatever you do, never ever sign over the deed or title of your property to someone who says they can help you by taking over your payments. That's a classic scam to steal your house. Fourth, don't listen to anyone who tells you to stop talking to your lender and to only talk to them. That's a big red flag. Do not do that. Your safest bet is always to work directly with your mortgage servicer or a legitimate HUD-approved housing counseling agency. If any offer sounds too good to be true, well, it probably is. Trust your gut and walk away from it. And please report any suspected scam to the Federal Trade Commission. And here's some strategic exits in selling your home or just basically doing a short sale, and cover some of that for a minute. Now, sometimes even after trying everything, it becomes clear that you just can't afford the home anymore. Now, in that situation, choosing to sell your house can be the most responsible financial decision you can make. Now, this isn't giving up. It's just taking control of your exit to protect your financial future. If you have equity in your home, meaning it's worth more than you owe, you can sell it, pay off the mortgage and any missed payments, and walk away with cash in your pocket and your credit mostly saved. This is so much better than a foreclosure, which will wreck your credit and leave you with absolutely nothing. But what if you're underwater, owing more on your mortgage than the house is worth? You can ask your lender to approve a short sale. Now, this is where the lender agrees to help you sell the house for less than what you owe, and they accept the lower amount. Depending on the agreement, they might forgive the rest of the debt. It's not a guarantee, but they could. A short sale will still hurt your credit, but it's much less damaging than a full foreclosure. It's a lot of paperwork, but it's a good option to have around. Navigating all this is tough, and having the right information is everything. If this guide is helping you see a path forward, please subscribe to the channel for more content on protecting your finances. Now let's go over the final safety net. It's the last straw here, which is bankruptcy. This should always be your last resort, something you only consider after you tried everything else and you have spoken with a qualified bankruptcy attorney. Now, filing for bankruptcy is a serious legal step with long-term financial consequences. Now, however, it can be an extremely powerful tool to stop a foreclosure right in its tracks. Now, when you file for a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, the court issues what's called an automatic stay. This immediately halts all collection activities, including a foreclosure sale. It gives you some breathing room. Under Chapter 13 plan, you create a plan to repay your debts over 3 to 5 years. You'll have to make your regular mortgage payment moving forward, plus an extra payment each month to catch up on what you missed. If you complete the plan successfully, you get to keep your home. But let's be clear, this is not a do-it-yourself territory. It's a complex legal process that requires a professional. Never pay a foreclosure rescue company to handle a bankruptcy for you. That's often a scam that will just take your money and leave you in an even worse position. So don't do that. Now, I know we covered a huge amount of information right here, and it can feel overwhelming. No, it's a lot. I get it. So let's bring it back to the most important points here. Now, first, you do have options. You are not powerless. From loan modifications and forbearance to government help and even strategic sales, there are paths that you can take right away. Second, time is your most valuable asset. Can't stress that enough. Time is your most valuable asset. The second, you know you're in trouble. You got to act. You got to move immediately upon that. You can call your mortgage servicer, reach out to a free HUD-approved housing counselor to be your guide if you need some help. You can do that. But finally, I want to end on a note of hope. Facing foreclosure is one of the most stressful things anyone can go through. But you're not defined by this moment. This doesn't tell us who you are as a person. By taking these proactive and informed steps, you are fighting for your home and your financial future. These things are important. You are taking back control. You want to stay in the driver's seat. So remember the steps. Communicate with your lender. Communicate immediately. Apply for help. Explore your options and never give up. You can get through this. This has been Lloyd for Real Estate.